coming live to y'all from my phone because god damn it, my computer is tripping. Like I ain't been able to. This computer, this is my iMac. This is my studio where I'll be doing my shit from, man. And yeah, it's been down for a few days, and I don't feel like when it comes to like I can't broadcast from the laptop. I wanted to do this show a little bit more, comprehensive and right. But what's up, Markeith? Yeah, I'm with you on that. But yeah, I'm having computer issues, y'all. So in the meantime, from the phone, got my beard all lined. I gotta line my beard up a little more right there. I gotta line that up. When I get off this, I'm gonna line that up a little better. I didn't line this up. I didn't make this line crisp. Gotta crispen up that line myself. I don't go to the barber. I do my own shit. Gotta tighten that line up. Anyway, we here to talk about, is hip hop dead and has K-pop taken over? Has K-pop taken over? We got somebody in the chat room that gets their jokes off of popsicle sticks. But K-pop is K-pop is definitely popular in America. It's not popular with our generation, with us that are grown, but with them kids, it's very popular. And the children create the wave to the future. You got black children growing up idolizing Asian artists doing black music. How about that? You got black children, you got the world celebrating Asian artists remaking 90s black music with corny ass 80s black dances, and it being called a whole new wave and a whole new thing. But what inspired? Well, I said inspired. I said inspired, not inspired. This is a cold crush. I saw the thumbnail and got mad. Afro beats and K-pop are all both black R&B sounds. And so today we're going to go on a musical journey. We're going to talk a little bit of music history, talk a little bit of music present, and then. But basically, this what I'm doing today, this is in response to something Joe Budden said on this podcast about a month ago, when he's talking about the Hip Hop 50 celebration. I've been wanting to talk about this, but it's just been so much other stuff going on, so I'm circling back to it now. So this ain't a trendy topic as of today, but Joe Budden talked about this about a month ago, but what he said is still something I think we need to break down and talk about. So we about to get on to it, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about like some more stuff. So stay around. All y'all up in here. Some of you niggas be killing me in them other chat rooms. I be looking at some of y'all in them other chat rooms. Y'all some funny motherfuckers. That's why I don't be looking at you niggas when I type. Because y'all be fucking throwing me off. But somebody says a dumb question. No, your mama's dumb. It's a very wise question, idiot. It's a lot going on right now at the music. And when it comes down to it, adults, we don't set the pace when it comes to music. The children do. And the children ain't fucking with hip-hop like they used to. That's just a fact. So let's break down what Joe Budden said, and then after we done breaking down after you're done listening, it's gonna be about 2 minutes. After you're done listening to what Joe Budden said, I'm gonna go outside and smoke a blunt. Then we're gonna talk about it. All right? What's up, Emmanuel? But let's talk about this. This is Joe Budden on the Joe Budden Show podcast about a month ago. Listen to this, and then we're gonna come back and talk about it.
I think there's a focus on streaming. AI, I think there's a focus on just replacing you guys, the artists, right? Yeah, the artists. They got, on the world music, Latin and country and all of whatever their hot hot genre is. I just think rap is cast aside. The 50 years of hip hop told me that. How much of the pie there even is to distribute amongst artists tell me that. The way albums don't drop anymore tells me that. All of you artists getting your money from somewhere else tells me that. Last year, no number one hip hop album for however long tells me that. The number ones that came tells me that. Travis, Uzi, Drake. There's only 7. There's 7 rappers that they focus on. Some because y'all are truly talented and make people all the money in the world. Some because too many people have their hand in your pocket to let you fail.
Drake.
But everybody else, if you're not getting it touring or if you're not getting it through other means, this music shit is a rap. I'm saying all of the musicians are broke. Relative to what you bring in. My conversation is about what's going on in the majors. They tricking y'all with the words in these contracts. They tricking y'all into thinking that y'all are real partners. They tricking y'all with the, hey, you own your stuff. The recent layoffs tell me that. Now have K-pop American.
K-pop American. These niggas is replaying Jodeci, y'all. Y'all hear that?
What I'm saying. They just run around like fucking pawns. These niggas is getting fucked. So I say all that to say, listen, I don't think it's just the girls. I think it's all of y'all. And I think it's much worse than I could even sit here and say.
Yeah.
Hey, post that on your blogs. Joe Budden says, bad times ahead.
So let me turn my mic around. So that's what we talking about today. So that right there is, you right, Cold Crush. They ain't even switch the lyrics. I'm not fucking with you, Cold Crush. You be clowning in them other chat rooms I be saying. That should be funny as fuck. But you're right. They done took the damn black scent. So that right there is what Joe Budden's talking about on his podcast. That whole bullshit ass K-pop taking over and now being the sound that these kids listen to. And I want to talk a little bit about why there's relevance to what Joe Budden is saying. And then I want to talk some history. On how hip-hop got to be to the forefront to begin with. And how basically hip-hop is suffering the same fate that every form of black music we create. The genres that they can't take, they kill off. And they replace it. Here's the difference. Usually, black Americans have another genre of music ready and waiting in the sidelines. So when one genre of black music goes out, there is another genre of black music ready to go. Difference is, over the last 30 years, black Americans have gotten so tied in to hip hop. And let me know if this shit freezes, because sometimes when I'm in my garage right now, sometimes this shit be freezing up in this bitch. So if this shit freeze, chat room, let me know. I'll step outside back closer to my Wi-Fi. But let me light this blunt. Let's have story time, okay? And for those of you who want to know more, I do have my hip hop, my 100 years of Black American music history course. We just had the first class this past Sunday. The next class is coming up this coming Sunday. So if you want to enroll and get a detailed history of what I'm talking about right now, please go to DwannB.com right now and enroll in my 100 years of Black American music history class. And in that class, in that course, we go into detail. But here on YouTube, I'll give you just a little bit. All right. So, yep. All right. All right, cool. So, back to what I was saying. So, Joe Budden has a point. Hip hop is no longer getting the attention it used to get from the record labels. Hip hop is no longer getting attention. It's no longer getting the funding. It's no longer getting the promotion. The funding and the promotion is going towards Afro beats, K-pop, Latin music, and all of these other sounds. There was an article last year talking about how hip hop budgets have dwindled post pandemic to minuscule amounts. And that's true. And it looks as if the record industry is done with hip hop. And let me tell y'all something right now. To all you hip hop heads out there, it's not coming back. Hip hop ain't coming back. All right? What up, Ben Frank? What up, Mark? Hip hop, however, Orlando Small say podcasters being the new rappers. That's a good point. That's a damn good point. So anyway, hip hop has floated longer than any genre of black music with industry support outside of R&B. Hip hop has gotten an artificial boost to the top. We have to understand, R&B is the king of black music, of world music, rhythm and blues. Jazz is the genius of world music. Blues is the soul and the lyrics and is the formatting of black music. Gospel is the feeling of world music, black music. And rhythm and blues is the combination of all three: gospel, jazz, and blues. And it is the sound of the world, not just America. Rhythm and blues is the sound of the world. Out of rhythm and blues, you get rock and roll, you get K-pop. Understand the K-pop industry started in the 1950s during the Korean War, when Koreans were listening to black American rhythm and blues music. When the Koreans learned how to fry chicken in the Korean War, they also learned music called jazz, R&B, and rock and roll from the soldiers who were there listening to that. So the K-pop genre started in the 1950s as a derivative sound of rhythm and blues. Make no mistake about it. Same thing with J-pop, Japanese pop. That started after World War II. J-pop really started to take off in the 1960s after the agreements were made between the Allied forces and of World War II, and the Marshall Plan money was distributed, and Japan got the autonomy to get to be the creators of a lot of the electronics. That's when J-pop started to take off. Again, rhythm and blues derivatives. Yes, record labels can kill hip-hop because record labels created hip-hop. Not created it, but record labels is what pushed hip-hop to the top. And I'll get there, Noah Randall. Follow me, my brother. Follow me, my brother. Follow me, my brother. And all my sisters out there. Follow what I'm going, where I'm getting at here, okay? About to teach you niggas something. And if you want detail, enroll in my music history course, 100 Years of Black American Music, at DwannB.com/courses. So, hip hop. So when we talk about the derivatives of rhythm and blues, J-pop, dance music, world beat, these are all R&B derivatives. Let me see here. Yes, I'll shout you out and then put you in timeout for 30 minutes. There you go. There's your shout out. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Oh, Ben Frank was right there for me. That's right. We doing 30-minute minimum bands, all right? Moderators, 30-minute minimum for anybody that you gotta shoot that shot at. So, hip hop was around before Africa Bambaataa. Let's stop the Africa Bambaataa lie. It was already moving. Africa Bambaataa was still a child when hip hop was taking off. All right, let's stop that. Let's stop that. Let's stop that. If breakdancing started in Africa, show me the video. That's what I always say to people. If breakdancing in Africa started in Africa, cool. Show me the video. Who did it first? Because what happens is people be like, oh, it started in Africa. How do you know Africans 500 years ago didn't get whatever they're doing now from the Americas? South America, North America, from Asia. The world has always interacted and traded with one another. Africans got as much knowledge from the West as the West got from Africa when it came to music. The world has been populated for hundreds of thousands of years, y'all. There's people here, there's no telling where most of it. That's why I only go with what we can prove. I don't go in and all that, oh, it come from this. Well, if you can't prove it, shut up. So back to what we're talking about. So, K-pop, these are all R&B derivatives. Disco, this nigga said they didn't have cardboard in Africa. And the niggas wasn't spinning on dirt rocks, nigga. Talking about some Africans was spinning on hyena shit. If you don't fuck out of here, nigga. And yes, I don't mean to offend, but look, I get offended when me as an American, black American, my family ancestry created so many dope things, and we got to go ahead and say, oh, it came from Africa, but can't nobody prove it came from Africa. It just sounds good when people say that. Oh, it came from Africa. Okay, who brought it from Africa? What's his name? Or her name? See, I can tell you, Francis Johnson brought the waltz back to the. He was the first American to play Europe, to take his band to Europe. A black man, and Francis Johnson brought the waltz to American form of music in around the year 1823. I can prove that. All right. No more. Every time black Americans are talking about some dope shit we do or create, no more saying came from Africa unless you can prove it. If you can prove it came from Africa, let's go. But I can prove the lineage of black American music going back 400 years. And that's what my black American music family tree is all about. Proving. What are you talking about? So, when we get into the 60s and the 70s, disco is a derivative of R&B. Funk is a derivative of R&B. Hip hop, rap is a derivative of R&B. Go back and listen to people always want to say hip hop created its own culture and created something new. Fuck no. All the hip hop beats are R&B beats, nigga. Flat out. Or or derivative of R&B. And the jazz beats are jazz hooks formatted into rhythm and blues format and timing. The reason why Whose World Is This by Nas sounds so great is because it's that Ahmad Jamal jazz piano riff formatted in a rhythm and blues style beat. Funk derivative on the one. And it's a combination of an Ahmad Jamal piano riff with rhythm and blues formatting with Nas rapping on top creates a song, a classic such as Whose World Is This? The world is yours. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this? Just the whole vocal layer and stylings is R&B. And R&B comes from the background singing of R&B comes from the arranged quartet. The arranged quartet, it was never a popular sound, but it was a sound that was popularized in the 1930s and 40s and 50s. And out of the arranged quartet, you get groups like the Temptations and the Four Tops. These were gospel quartets. Sam Cooke comes out of a quartet. Most of your R&B soloists they were lead singers of quartets. And so when you see K-pop artists doing all that singing in the background, that comes from the black arranged quartet genre. When the arranged quartet merged with rhythm and blues in the 1960s, you get the sound that we now know of the Temptations, Jodeci, the bands, NSYNC, any white group you think of, whether it be NSYNC or this Asian group BTS, or the Temptations, or New Edition, or B2K, all of that is a derivative of what started in the 60s when rhythm and blues merged with the arranged quartet, lead singer, background singers. Check. Check. What's up, Kevin McCall? Hey, bro, you out? Hey, inbox me on IG, dog. I want to link up. I want to. We got to chop it up on here. Let's talk. Let's talk on here. Let's talk on here, dog. Salute. That's Kevin McCall Jr. Grammy-winning writer, dope ass musician. Yeah, hit me up on IG, man. I'm glad to see you out, my brother. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, Emerald's where I'm very familiar with women in jazz. And it's in my 100 years of music history course that I'm doing right now every Sunday. 8 classes. 100 years of American recorded music history. I'm teaching every Sunday. We only one class in, so please, this is the time to register right now. You can get this past Sunday's class, and you got 7 more to go. And we're going to have our own group discussions, all right? Yeah. So, we talking about, somebody said lung cancer. Yeah, you get lung cancer from sucking your mama's titties. It's that spoiled milk from your mama's titties that niggas is drinking and it's going down the esophagus, and from there it's affecting the lungs when it passes through the esophagus. Who's that? Balio, where the fuck that is. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Appreciate that, Isaiah Edwards. I got some dope ass mods up in here. What up, Jess Smith? Brother Jess Smith. Anyway, yeah, Set in the West, hit me up. But anyway, back to what we're talking about, music history. So when we're talking about these sounds, these are all sounds that are derivatives of R&B. R&B is a sound that encompassed everything. Understand, the father of R&B is a man named Louis Jordan. Okay? He's the father of R&B. Louis Jordan played the saxophone and he rapped. Look up Louis Jordan. Louis Jordan was a person that encompassed all of the elements that will become R&B. The rhythm styles, the comping with the orchestration and the music, the background singing, the singing and the rapping. Go back before James Brown, y'all. James Brown was inspired by Louis Jordan. Bird Breakfast Club, sit the fuck down and listen to a master talk, nigga. You look up anybody who, if you really know who James Brown is, if you really study James Brown, you'll know Louis Jordan was his inspiration. He said it. As a matter of fact, I found Louis Jordan through James Brown. I heard James Brown say that back in the 90s. I don't know if he was on Arsenio. I forgot what show James Brown was on, but they was asking about his inspirations. And James Brown talked about how all of his dancing and stuff and the way he signifies, he got that from church, from watching the pastor at church. That's where James Brown got his moves from. Church. He got his sound from Louis Jordan. Because Louis Jordan was the most popular black artist. He was who the streets chose. When white people was listening to Chuck Berry, black people was listening to Louis Jordan. The reason why I'm giving you the name Louis Jordan is because Louis Jordan is who the streets chose. White people didn't listen to Louis Jordan, so you don't hear his name. White people don't pick up on our music until Little Richard, Chuck Berry, okay? Little Richard, Chuck Berry is when white people picked up on the rock and roll side in the 50s. Louis Jordan was that nigga in the 40s. He was still that nigga in the 50s. Louis Jordan was that nigga. And Louis Jordan used to rap. Choo Choo, I think the name of the song is called, it's something by Louis Jordan, it's called Choo Choo, something. I wish I could play some music for y'all right now. But go look up Louis Jordan. It's called Choo Choo. That's the name of the song. It's called Choo Choo. I know the name is right there, but he's rapping on that song. If you're white and you feel offended, then get the fuck out of here. And your mama's pussy smell like spoiled mustard. Choo Choo Boogie. That's it, FBA Water. That was it. Choo Choo Boogie. Louis Jordan rapping his ass off in that song. James Brown was rapping before King Heroin. King Heroin was not James Brown's first rap song. He was rapping in the Big Payback. He was rapping before the Big Payback. Choo Choo Boogie. That's the name of the song. Choo Choo Boogie. And he is who James Brown looked up to. He's also who Little Richard looked up to. Comprende? I'm going to take some of these shrooms this weekend. It's a new moon this weekend. I'm going to be on these shrooms this weekend. Quick commercial break. So we got to understand, this is old shit. But he is the father of R&B. Hotepish. In my music history class, I break that down. I give you guys books, resources, and all that stuff. You heard that, Hearttunes? Yeah. Tag me in it when you remix it. Tag me in it when you remix it. So, understand that R&B is the sound of America. And going back to when I talked about the arranged quartet, I think it was Irma's way to ask me about women. You got to understand, a lot of your arranged quartet, from Sam Cooke to Otis Redding, a lot of these guys they got on, when they were with their arranged quartets, a lot of them opened up for Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Sister Rosetta Tharpe is a lot of the rhythm behind rock and roll. Comes out of the sound of Sister Rosetta Tharpe. She was an inspiration also for Little Richard and Chuck Berry. Sister Rosetta Tharpe. But one of her biggest impacts was when she toured, she was the name. She's the one that put a lot of your Curtis Mayfield's group, The Impressions. A lot of them got their start opening for Sister Rosetta Tharpe. So when the 60s came and R&B became the sound, those quartet singers from the 50s and the early 60s became R&B group in the 60s. The Impressions, the Dells, the Temptations, the Four Tops. All these guys start, because Dennis Edwards from the Four Tops, I'm from the Temptations, Paul, all these guys sang in arranged quartets. But if you want the details, you got to enroll in my class, my course. 7 more classes to go. And if you don't want to join the live, wait to the end, and I will have it back up there for you to download later on, okay? But I encourage you to join the live course so you can ask me questions. Okay? Yeah, Big Mama throw all the people. So I got to understand, black people, white people, whoever's listening to me, we got to get out of this Eurocentric mindset of it being one. It's never one. It never has been one, never will be one. It's usually is a multi-pronged effort. Artists take a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, a little bit from that person, and the great ones take a little bit from others and create their own thing. That's how inspiration works. You get inspired. You may take this guitar riff from Sister Rosetta Tharpe. You may take this dance move from Jackie Wilson. You may take this spin from Sammy Davis Jr. You'll take them vocals from Etta James. You'll take the other vocal styling from Louis Jordan, and then you'll put it all into something. You'll take some inspiration from the Preacher. We take inspiration as black folks because we was raised in segregation. It'd be the homie down. We always got a homie down the street that was more talented than all of us. Anybody who's made it knows somebody who didn't make it that was more talented in whatever it is you do, whether it be music, basketball, comedy. Every comedian know a nigga on the block that's funnier than them. Every singer know a lady at that church down the street that can out-sing them. Even Snoop talks about the niggas that out-rap them. We get inspiration from these people. And we put it all together and innovate it into something new and unique that's all of our own. It's a lineage. It's never just one person. That's European white folk shit. Oh, that one person. There's never one person. Louis Jordan, when I talk about him, he was the man on top at the time. Ray Charles kicked him off that. Ray Charles, there's a generation who came up who only understand Ray Charles when it comes to R&B. Ray Charles is their starting point in R&B, not Louis Jordan. The same way people who are my generation start in R&B is New Edition or Jodeci versus somebody who's only 5 years older than me. Their start in R&B might be the Dramatics. And a person who's just 5 years older than that, they start in R&B is going to be the Temptations. And the person who's 5 years older than that, they start in R&B is going to be James Brown. We really are a community, people. A community of greats. Don't ever get fooled into thinking it's just one. So, you get to the 50s and to the 60s, and every form of music that we're listening to right now, whether it be house, disco, world beat, pop, J-pop, funk, R&B, rock and roll, heavy metal, grunge, hip-hop, goddamn screw, all of that was already created in 1973. Ain't shit new came after 1973. And you hip-hop niggas, it ain't just hip-hop. Disco started in 1973 also. Okay? I agree with that, Bull John. Smokey Robinson to me is the great. He's in my opinion, when it comes to songwriting, he's number one for me. Smokey Robinson had a love song called "What Love Has Joined Together," and Smokey said it'd be easier to take the or the dry from sand than for anybody to separate us and take my love from you. That is some love music, nigga. Smokey had a song called "Fork in the Road." Go look up a song by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles called "Fork in the Road." It is less than 3 minutes long, but he tells you the full story of heartbreak and decision making in love. The song starts off, it says, the hook by the Miracles is "Beware." And the Miracles come out of the arranged quartet. And the Miracles, people don't understand, Smokey Robinson's wife was in the Miracles. There was a woman in the Miracles. And the song, the hook with "Beware, beware, beware." They was singing in the hook "Beware." But they made the song Smokey. Let's break down this song "Fork in the Road" real quick by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and then we're gonna get back into it to show you the greatness of rhythm and blues and black sound and doing a 3-part harmony with "Beware," and then Smokey's coming in on top. Beware. They're telling you to beware. The song starts off saying "Be aware." Let me go. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come and sit next to my Wi-Fi. I knew that shit was gonna happen. My garage has terrible Wi-Fi with terrible signal up in that motherfucker. But we good. It ain't gonna happen again. I'm gonna come over here and sit next to my Wi-Fi. But I'm gonna break that down again. I'm gonna break those lyrics down again. Damn, like it might rain again. Shit. Hope it don't rain. But the song said, "Beware, beware. There's danger there." That's the part I miss. There's danger there. Then he says, "Seems like love should be easier to bear, but it's such a heavy load." Hear that? First bar. Second bar. "Worldwide travelers, you ain't gone nowhere until you've traveled down love's road." Nigga, rhyming, clarity, and a whole word in 2 bars. Seems like love should be easier to bear, but it's such a heavy load. Worldwide travelers, you ain't gone nowhere until you've traveled down love's road. He's telling you off top, beware, because there's danger there. The ups and downs of love is extreme. And in the 60s, Americans still cared about love. So the music taught you how to love. It didn't tell you just to love. The music taught you how to love. And then he says, then in the second stanza, he says, this is what he says to the listener. Although I may be just a stranger, lovers, let me warn you, there is a danger in Love's Road, at the fork in Love's Road. Nigga, Smokey Robinson got a song that says, I just drew a blank to that song. The song he wrote for Martha and the Vandellas. Smokey Robinson wrote a song for Martha and the Vandellas called Hunter Gets Captured by the Game. And it starts off with an old Western. It sounds like it starts off like with an old Western theme. And he's talking about pursuing a woman. Well, he wrote it for the Martha and the Vandellas, so they're talking about pursuing a man. And in the pursuit, they became the person that was captured and caught up in love. Smokey Robinson wrote a song called My Girl, nigga. Smokey Rob, man. I could teach a 4-week class just on the lyrics of Smokey Robinson. It would probably take me like 4 2-hour class periods to teach just on the lyrics of Smokey Robinson. So we got to understand the moments. Joshua Mitchell, did you know the moments was Ray Goodman and Brown? They were the moments. They had a song called Not on the Outside Looking In. Love on the Two-Way Street. But then they had a record dispute, so they had to change their name, and they changed it to Ray Goodman and Brown. Then they came out with You Must Be a Special Lady. You know? So you got to understand, that sound was taken from us by intentionally. And someone earlier in the chat room said it. Yes, Neo Soul did save R&B. So I talked about the past. Let's break onto this century we're in right now. So when we get to this century, we got to understand R&B was purposely defunded by them folks. Black R&B, not white R&B. White R&B still got to use live instrumentation and background singers. And you're going to hear a lot of that in my interview on my Patreon, Miss Alex Brown. Subscribe to my Patreon. My computer crashed, y'all, so I don't know when that interview will be up because I might have to get some shit. I still got the interview saved, but I might have to do a re-edit. So for those of you on my Patreon, the interview with Miss Alex Brown, it'll be up whenever I can get my computer fixed, all right? So, because it crashed mid-edit. Anyway, and so when we get to the 2000s, R&B was defunded in the 70s. I have videos up in the past. I'm not gonna go back. You can look on the channel and go back when I talked about how R&B was defunded for hip hop. I broke this down 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I went on YouTube 5 years ago. I broke it down 2 years ago on YouTube. 3 years ago on YouTube. 2021, I broke it down on YouTube. How R&B was destroyed, and they took the background singing, they took the live instrumentation. They stopped the marketing and promotion of it, and they moved those budgets over to hip hop. And so what happened was that they needed R&B dead during the 90s, but what happened was this thing that they weren't expecting came around through Motown and through Hidden Beach Records, something called Neo Soul. And the Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, Music Soul Child, Raheem DeVaughn, Maxwell movement derailed those plans briefly. Because you had a lot of those independent record labels in the early 2000s, late 90s, that was able to, and Motown was, for the most part, wasn't still plugged into, even though they weren't black owned anymore, they still weren't quite as plugged into the matrix. Like RCA and those guys. Too windy. Hold on. There you go. So they took the rule. They took the singing out. 80s had singing. By the 90s, they killed singing. But neo soul came and saved it for a while. But by the time you get to the mid 2000s, I think I told y'all before, when Usher got to the top, I know y'all don't like when I say this, and I don't have any issues with Usher the person. He just is a pawn. He's not. He don't own the game. He's just a pawn in the game. But when Usher and Beyonce got to the top, that was the death knell of R&B. Because vocally, both of them are marginal. Relative, they both can out-sing me, but relative to what black Americans can put out vocally, they're marginal at best. You can like them, I don't care. It's not about whether you like them or not. You cannot put Beyonce's vocals next to Stephanie Mills or Chaka Khan or Vesta or Aretha Franklin. You just can't. We're playing two different games here. Whitney Houston, Martha Wash. You can't compare the two vocally. It's just we're completely different worlds. You can't compare vocally Usher to the vocals of Marvin Gaye, Barry White, the vocals of Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, it's Gerald Levert, Johnny Gill, hell, even Tevin Campbell. We're in completely different worlds vocally when you're talking about Usher versus those guys. Completely different worlds. You can like their music, fine. I don't care. I'm not about to argue with you whether you like them or not. But there is no argument that Beyonce and Usher, relative to the level of talent black people put out vocally, they're marginal at best. Okay? You can't compare Usher's vocals to Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. You can't do that. So when you bring them in, and Beyonce and Jay-Z did a great job of killing off the competition, threatening producers, hey, give me that song you just gave to A. Marie. Matter of fact, let me get your dance coordinator too so I can dance like you. And then, matter of fact, A. Marie, if you Soul Train Awards, if you want me to come, A. Marie can't perform. A lot of that fuck shit was going on in the 2000s. And at the same time, the budgets that would have made Frank McComb a great R&B artist, Eric Roberson, these guys in the early 2000s, Bilal's second album never came out. Think about that. His second album was live instrumentation, but they blamed it on a leak. Who the fuck leaked his album to begin with? They leaked Bilal's R&B album that was going to really blow up in 2004, blow him up. They didn't release it. A lot of great R&B, Jaguar Wright recorded a lot of great stuff, never released. A lot of your Carl Thomas, he never came back. He came out with that one hot ass album, and we never got any more Carl Thomas. Jaheim had a run, and he was done. Tell me if I'm lying. Shantae Moore vocally. Yeah, Shantae Moore, Lettucey, Layla Hathaway. You put their vote, you can't, Beyonce can't go number one in a world that a voice like Shantae Moore, a voice like Deborah Cox gets equal funding, equal promotion. Because you have to understand, people go number one, that's not by a mistake, nigga. That's budget. Number one is budget. Record labels back then, especially back then when they had CDs and tapes. Remember we used to walk into the record store and they would have like a life-size poster of Beyonce there looking fine as hell? Somebody paid for that. What if Layla Hathaway's old fine ass got good singing ass got that same level of promotion? What if when you walked into the store, you saw Layla Hathaway. And Layla Hathaway got teamed with the top producers. I appreciate the super chat. What if Jill Scott and these people get teamed with the right production, with top level, the producers who go number one, and they're allowed to play with a live sound with live background singers behind them? Guess what? Anthony Hamilton also. I'm not naming everybody. India Irie, y'all right. I'm gonna let y'all keep talking about it. Y'all right. Anthony Hamilton. Lauryn Hill didn't get redone because she did that shit to herself. Lauryn Hill stole all that shit from a lot of people and took credit. And she just gave credit to the musicians that and writers that helped her put that together. She could have put out another one. Lauryn Hill never put out another one because she took a lot of people's shit and she was held up in court for a long time from taking a lot of people's shit. So Beyonce learned from Lauryn Hill. Beyonce would just take your shit and then pay you and make you sign an NDA so you wouldn't hold her shit up. Beyonce just took people's shit and paid them. Like, he just take, and then they were there sued, then she'd make them niggas sign NDAs and then pay them their money. Yeah, Case. All these cats we had some good R&B. Question, chat room. Do we ever say we don't want another Case album? Let's be real. For those of us who were around in the 2000s, did we ever say we don't want another music stuff? Well, Musiq Soulchild kept putting out music. And he put out a good project last year too. I liked it. I like Music's newest project. But we never said we don't want any more Shantae Moore. We never said we didn't want any more that. We never said we didn't want any more Escape or SWE. Did we? We never said we don't want any more Toni Braxton. They got pushed out. I had that conversation with Kenny Lattimore last year. He may not even, if he saw me, he may not even remember me. But I was at a Grammy party last year, and we were sitting around talking, and I was talking to Kenny Lattimore and his people about the death of R&B. And I got to tell Kenny Lattimore how much I love his music, and how it's just a shame that I didn't get more of it because the industry decided we're going to put our budgets in hip hop. And that's what brings us back to the subject of the day. K-pop killing off hip hop. My point is this. Hip hop is being done by K-pop the same way hip hop did to R&B. See, when it comes to white folks, they take our music and they keep the budgets for themselves and people who look like them. Bruno Mars. What's his girl's name? Ashley Simpson. What's his girl name? That's out there. Taylor Swift. Adele. We fund, and what they did was, since the 70s, they pulled the quality of our music back so far. When Beyonce and Usher got on top, that made it easy for a non-singing Rihanna to exist. Usher and Beyonce both can sing. They're both damn good singers. I'm not saying they ain't good singers. They're both damn good singers. But relative to the talent that Black America produces, they're marginal. That's all I'm saying. No disrespect to either one of them. But all you got to do any of you niggas got to do is on Sunday morning, go to a church and I'll prove you right. Whatever church you in, there's a church in your town that is known for having a good choir. Go to that church on Sunday morning and listen to those people sing, and then go back and listen to Usher and Beyonce sing, and you're going to see something completely different. I encourage you, when you're done listening to me, listen to Home by Stephanie Mills. Then listen to All at Once by Whitney Houston. Then listen to Do You Love What You Feel by Shaka Khan. and then listen to Single Ladies by Beyonce. And tell me if you don't notice a difference. Then listen to Secret Garden with Barry White, Elder Barge. I'm drawing up James Ingram, and who's the fourth? Albie Shore. Go listen to Secret Garden. Go listen to Baby Hold On To Me by Gerald Levert. Go listen to Summer Soft by Stevie Wonder. Go listen to The Whole Town Is Laughing At Me by Teddy Pendergrass. And then go listen to Yeah by Usher. Completely different experiences. Completely different experiences vocally. They had to do that because that opened the door for Rihanna. And Rihanna's voice is very plastic, very sucks. It opened the door for Adele. Adele's music, man, get that mayonnaise and be out of here. She ain't got no fucking soul. And then when you get Rihanna and Adele and Bruno Mars, now it's nothing to make the music Chris Brown, and Chris Brown was a part of this, because Chris Brown, although he can sing, what did Chris Brown start doing in 2012? Chris Brown started making all of his music on auto-tune. That's why you never hear me talk about Chris Brown. Chris Brown has a good voice, but that nigga don't use it. So why would I talk about his voice when he chooses to auto-tune his voice out? So his music is going to be time-dated forever, and that's unfortunate. Chris Brown's music will not last through time, unfortunately. But he chose auto-tune. Auto-tune's you're not gonna be listening to auto-tune lyrics in 20 years. It's not. I like R. Kelly. R. Kelly was doing. I'm not a big fan of R. Kelly's music personally because I stopped liking him back in the early 90s when I saw him with Aaliyah. I was like, that grown-ass man with Aaliyah, fuck him. Because Aaliyah was my age. I had a crush on Aaliyah. And I saw that grown-ass man. When I saw R. Kelly with Aaliyah, that reminded me, I mean, you know how this when you're in middle school, you like a girl, but it's some nigga with a fucking Camaro coming to pick her up from school, and you got to catch the bus because you a kid. That's what R. Kelly always reminded me of the nigga that had a Camaro picking up the girl you got a crush on in middle school. When you had to get on the bus, she getting picked up by this grown-ass nigga in the Camaro. So I didn't like him for those reasons. Long before you niggas was told not to like him. But I will say this, R. Kelly was doing something special in the late 90s. The In the Closet series was some groundbreaking shit. R. Kelly was doing some new shit with that In the Closet. That In the Closet was that operatic play, bringing you and using the OG Ronald Isley. R. Kelly was expounding the boundaries of R&B with that. He was doing something new. And these white folks wouldn't have been able to catch up to that shit he was doing with the In the Closet series. No, they wasn't gonna catch that. So that's when that Piss tape came out. Remember, R. Kelly's Piss tape came out when he was doing the In the Closet series. When he was doing In the Closet series. When he was changing R&B. Think about it. The Piss tape came out during the In the Closet series. And at the same time, R. Kelly was uniting everyone with Stepping. Step in the Name of Love, nigga. To this day. Step in the Name of Love is a forever song. And so is Happy People. Some of R. Kelly's music, Ignition may fade with time. Because it was the way it was produced with the sound of the time. Ignition may fade with time. 12 Play will never fade away. Some stuff will fade away. Oh, it's starting to rain. Oh, shit. God damn, it's starting to rain, nigga. I'm going to have to go back inside. Let me go back in my garage. If my garage go out, I'm going to go back inside. I'm going to go inside the house for y'all. The nigga's starting to rain in this bitch. Let me take my ass inside. LA, I thought we was done raining, motherfucker. God damn. It's all right. I got another blunt here. Oh, damn, we raining out here. Okay. All right. Cool. We raining out here. We raining. All right. All right. We raining. Hold on. Let me light this blunt. Hey, chat room, don't let me lose my place. Tell me hey, chat room, where did I lose my place? Where did I lose my place, chat room? Tell me. Before it started raining. Help me out. What up, Garrett? I didn't know it was gonna be. I thought we was done raining. I was like, yeah, yeah. You heard Veronica died, right? Yeah, I went to the funeral. Oh, you didn't met her? Oh yeah, yeah. You were there later. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I went. Yeah, I went to it. Yeah, I saw the fish. I saw everybody. We took a picture together. Gail, all of them. Yeah. Yeah. I'd holler at you. But R. Kelly, that Step in the Name of Love was really bringing people together. It did. To this day. Step in the Name of Love, Keep on Stepping, Happy People. When he got on that Happy People, Step in the Name of Love, but also listen to what R. Kelly said. R. Kelly said that he wanted to do more of those songs, but he was told by the record label, more ignition, more of the sex talk. R. Kelly wanted more of the In the Closet series, more of the Happy People series, more of the Step in the Name of Love series. Like, I gotta always give R. Kelly for that one. When he did that Step in the Name of Love, that nigga hit a vein in our soul. Black person number one is Step in the Name of Love. Still don't hit a vein in the soul. Hell no, Larry, I agree with that. I said 12 play not gonna fade away. 12 play always gonna be here. 12 play always gonna be here. Some stuff may leave, but not yet. No. But 12 play. That's not going anywhere, but neither is Step in the Name of Love, neither is Happy People. That's R. Kelly. R. Kelly really, he really was like, he really woke up something in your spirit, in your soul. And if you go back to the 2000s, a lot of your music was getting a lot more plastic, and it didn't feel that way. Think about one thing that let me know R&B lyrics was dead. Was in 2000 when that song "Meet Me at the Altar" came out. When they said when the love song of the year 2000 was, it was two songs: a thong song and "Meet Me at the Altar" in Your White Dress. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it, nigga. That's the lamest fucking reason to get married ever. I guarantee goddamn to you, everybody that got married in 2000 said we ain't getting no younger, we might as well do it. I guarantee you all them motherfuckers are divorced. You better have deeper reasons than that. So even our love music was getting dead in the 2000s. But when R. Kelly came out, that Step in the Name of Love, that Happy People, nigga, whew. So that's it right there. Like, it was a lot going on. Why in the hell are you talking about Tariq? What the hell he got to do with this conversation? Easy. I'll be bringing other people up on YouTube up out of nowhere for no reason. Yeah, I feel the same way. Positive influence. It was rushed lyrics. They could have got together. It was a good harmony. It was a good intro. See, first of all, I know these so-called players wouldn't tell you this. Okay, I get that. I want to be real and say what's on my heart. Okay, I get that. And most of the lyrics of that song is cool. But when you come with some we ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it. Nah, y'all gonna have to shelve that song. Y'all gonna have to shelve that until you give me something. If you had, that's how listen. Somebody corporate released that song. Because if an artist is the head of that A&R or that department that releases the music, they're gonna be like, nah. If Barry Gordy is making that decision, he's gonna get that song back to his writers. Like, yeah, nah, y'all gotta give me something better than that. All right. If that song comes out in the 60s and the 70s or 80s, that shit's getting rejected until you give me something better than that. The rest of the lyrics can stay. But that part, that gotta go. I remember when that shit came out, I'm thinking like, man, this shit sucks. I thought that shit came out my first year of college. And I remember thinking I was 18, 19 years old. I was like 19, I think. I was in college. First or second year of college, that song came out. I think first year. I remember thinking, this shit lame. And so it devolved. But R&B basically got pushed to the side. And in the early 2000s, a lot of your great groups, think about it, Next and the Jagged Edge, that was like the last like R&B groups. Remember, R&B groups used to be a standard. That wasn't a rarity. There was always R&B soloists and R&B groups, and they were always going on at the same time, going back to the 60s. You had Marvin Gaye as a soloist. Marvin Gaye was popular at the same time the Temptations were popular. You know what I mean? You had in the 70s, you had your Ozzy Brothers, and you had your bands like the Earth and Fire, and then you had your soloists, like Curtis Mayfield after he left the Impressions. All of them existed, and there was a market for all of them in the 70s. There was a market for the pop sound and Barry Manilow, the crossover nigga. There was a sound for deep funk with Parliament Funkadelic and all their derivatives. And there was a market for rhythm and blues, straight rhythm and blues with a singer, with a lead singer. Marvin Gaye had gone solo by then. Stevie Wonder. Then you had your more R&B groups like the Ozzy Brothers and the Commodores. And then you had your more, like those are Ozzy Brothers, Commodores, or those were like band style groups and bands. Then you had your straight up bands like the Ohio Players, where basically the band members like Sugarfoot with the lead singers. Confunction, those guys, that era. And at the same time, you had your disco bands, Chic. You had your groups that were more in the disco, Donna Summer, soloists. You had disco going on at the same time funk was going on. And there was enough in the money in the economy for all of these bands and sounds to eat. And they all sounded extravagantly great and good, grand. And at the same time, jazz was popping. Herbie Hancock was doing this thing, George Duke. You had a lot of your jazz artists crossing over into R&B. What's his name? Joseph Lindbergh turned me on to an album by Pharoah Sanders. He did 1977. That was R&B. He did it was like Pharoah Sanders and Phyllis Hyman. I just found this shit like 2 weeks ago. I've been bumping that shit ever since. Herbie Hancock was coming in doing funk with the Headhunters, and then still doing R&B with one of his other bands. George Duke was coming around. Patrice Rushen. These California musicians that were jazz musicians, but also dope at R&B. You had all of that. It was just a big, huge flowering of music. And how all of that music died. My point of having today's show is all of that music died because record labels decide to cut budgets. Not because the consumer didn't want it. Simply to say, you know what? We're not going to put money behind that anymore. Why does this nigga keep turning around in my goddamn driveway? And hold on, nigga. So all of that stuff died not because we wanted it to die. It died because budgets killed it. And hip hop got to the top when record companies decided to invest in it. Go back to the 80s. Hip-hop R&B before 93 was a fringe music. It wasn't mainstream shit. A song or two may get to the top, but you couldn't compare the sales of Public Enemy to the sales of Prince, or the sales of Luther Vandross, or even Freddie Jackson. Nigga, goddamn early 90s, like before MC Hammer crossed over and sold a lot of records, but outside of that, you couldn't compare what Nas and Ice Cube was selling to what motherfucking New Edition was selling when they was on top. Hip hop couldn't compete with R&B when R&B was adequately funded. When record labels was putting money in R&B, hip hop could not compete. And we're talking about the golden age of hip hop, when hip hop was at its best. Outkast was dope, but they weren't competing with Tony Braxton. Same label, LaFace. At the time. Look back 30 years, Outkast is legends. 1993, they're not competing sales-wise with Tony and exposure-wise with Tony Braxton. Tony Braxton gets to be seen and heard everywhere. Outkast is only on the hip-hop stations and on an episode of Martin at the end. We never said we don't want good R&B anymore. They took the money out of it and put it into hip-hop because hip-hop is easier to produce. Now, it's hip-hop's turn. The same thing that made you break you, homeboy. Why am I laughing? Because it's time for it to go. Hip-hop is a course. We're so beyond that. A band I'm into right now is that dropped a recent album. It's a band called Butcher Brown. And the lead, that nigga rap, sing, play the trumpet and saxophone. Band is tight. You got Kingfish taking over blues. You got black folks taking over blues again. You got black folks taking over country. The lesson I think we need, look what's coming. Look what hip hop has been replaced with. K-pop. What is K-pop? R&B. That tells you right there, it circles back to our shit. Only thing is, a lot of us stopped fucking with R&B. We didn't stop making R&B. Leela James been here the whole time. How many of y'all been buying her albums? Jerris Mosey. Salute to Anderson .Paak, holding it down. What's her name? I'm drawing a blank. Bust the windows out your car. What's her name? I'm drawing a blank. You know what I'm talking about. I bust your windows out your car. She been here. Jasmine Sullivan. She been here. And they made her turn her, and she had to make her lyrics more ratchet to get any kind of attention. Chrisette Michelle's still out there. Man named Corey Henry just dropped, love his music. He just dropped a new album called Church. It's a gospel album. I've been bumping that lately. Corey Henry's Church album. It's still R&B. Legacy out here. Layla Hathaway out here. We out here still doing it. But us as the black consumer, when they defunded R&B, we allowed them to make us turn our attention away from R&B. If we put our children and teach our music and to understand the value of R&B, K-pop will be out of here, because whether it be K-pop, Afrobeat, Latin music, all of this stuff is a derivative of black American music. And it ain't gonna last. It never does. They've been trying this shit forever. It never lasts. It always comes back to us. We just gotta make sure that we are consuming and teaching our children the high quality music. Put your children on jazz when they in the womb, in the belly. You consumers develop the mental enzymes to get into jazz. Jazz ain't easy to get into if you didn't. If you weren't raised, I'm telling you right now, if you weren't raised on jazz, it's not easy to get into. It's hard to get. Excuse me, because you're so used to music in a 4/4 time boxing you in. If you try to get into jazz as an adult, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie and like it's easy, but you develop a muscle. Play it while you're getting ready for work. Play it in the background when you're in the shower. Just play it around the house, low level sometimes. Listen to it, close your eyes, sit your phone down, put it on Do Not Disturb. And allow the rhythms and the vibrations and the sounds of the saxophone and the bass and the drums of Max Roach, Ron Carter, Dizzy Gillespie, Horace Silver, Herbie Hancock, Kamasi Washington. I heard Kamasi got a new album that's getting ready to drop. Let the vibrations they take you on free you and deliver your soul. Teach your children how to do that. Because these Asians that are into K-pop, these kids are raised on jazz, yo. These Asian kids know about John Coltrane. These Latino kids know about John Coltrane. I know this because when I was teaching a history class at Top Golf last week. Asian kids this Asian dude brought his daughter there to listen to me teach music history. And salute to my followers who came. A lot of my followers came, but somebody heard that I was going to be there, and he brought his. I think she was like 4 or 5. Asian dude brought his daughter to listen to me talk music history. And she was 5. And I wish I could have got a picture with that little girl. She was beautiful. She came over when we were all done and said, "Thank you, Mr. DeWan, for teaching me music history I didn't know." Asian dude brought his 5-year-old daughter to listen to my black ass talk music history at Top Golf. Do we really value it? Appreciate that, Star. Hit the music history course. I still got my GoFundMe up for my music history project. I'm gonna be filming again. I'm start filming again in 2 weeks. Hit the donation for the Black American Music History Project. Like, if we really care to preserve this shit, I'm out here doing the yeoman's work to get this shit done, yo. I'm not just on here on YouTube. I gave y'all a documentary for free already to show you what I'm about. It's right here on this YouTube channel, pinned at the top. Do we value that? I was trying to get that GoFundMe to cross 10 grand at the beginning of December. I said, can we get to 10 grand by the beginning of the year? Because I'm doing a series. I gave you one part of the series for free. I tried to cross 10 grand by New Year's Eve. We are March 7th? And I still ain't crossed 6 grand. Do we value that? Do we really value our shit? I ain't complaining, it's just a question. Because I'm going to do the documentary regardless. I'm put it out of my own pocket. I don't care. It's getting done regardless. You niggas, ain't nobody going to stop shit. I done interview. I ain't stopped doing interviews. I already got like 7 or 8 interviews in the can. I interviewed my father-in-law, multi-Grammy winning artist. He never does interviews. I got him do an interview on gospel music. So you're gonna hear Mr. James Carmichael speak on gospel music for the first time. Don't think his work, don't think James Carmichael's words won't be studied by Asians. And the niggas gonna be like, the same niggas who couldn't put a dime towards my documentary gonna turn around and be like, well, they stealing our music. Well, what did you do to help the motherfuckers who trying to preserve it? It's a real question. Niggas believe what you put your money behind. So we can't point our fingers at them, because again, an Asian man had his 5-year-old daughter at my keynote speech at Top Golf last week, learning Black history and music. Salute Native Jasmine. If I done seen you donate to the documentary a few times. I've seen Star donate. I'm not saying other people haven't, but those names I've noticed. That I know your YouTube name. Some of y'all may have donated under your real name, and I don't know your YouTube name, so my apologies if. But I have noticed Nate, Jess Smith and Star. I saw them names. I know their real names. So that's the question we got to ask ourselves. How serious are you about it? And if you want to donate, you can donate like the person who just logged into the website from Shreveport at DwannB.com. So that's where we at with it. How serious are we? How serious are we? But back to what we're talking about. We is circling back to Black music derivatives. Me personally, I think the key is to not box ourselves into any one format, any one genre of music. I personally think the key is to open ourselves back up to all of it. That whole idea of having a one pop genre sound was fake. It was a one-off. Michael Jackson was the exception of exceptions of exceptions. That's never been done before, never gonna be done again. Stevie Wonder up there, world music, those are every now and again, these Michael Jacksons. For the most part, everybody got their own music that they listen to. It's gonna be a few million people that like this sound, a few million people that like that sound. And every artist that does these different sounds, if they do it good enough, if they do it great, they're going to develop an audience that's going to support and feed them the rest of their lives. Music is going back to a decentralized sound. Ada Hart, see, I read this shit in my car as, I'm telling you, all of this, because AI, what's known as pop, AI going to take all that shit. Don't worry about that. What we know is pop and this illusion that these people put out. What's known as pop? What's known as pop? That's an illusion. And that illusion is going to be owned by AI in the future. So give that up. Somebody said I left Go-Go. Go-Go's not in the conversation. Go-Go's regional sound, like Zydeco. Cool. Go-Go is still an R&B derivative. DC style funk. But yeah, nah. All of that, you guys can use your own brains to put two and two together. I left heavy metal out too, but we should understand that's a derivative of our music, of rock and roll, of the Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Muddy Waters, Jimi Hendrix sound. We understand this. Cobain was just playing nigga music. That's all. Kurt Cobain just played nigga music. So, them days of one centralized popular artist, AI is gonna own that lane in the next 5 years, y'all. So you ain't gotta worry about that. We got the metaverse out here too. Mind you, I am in the metaverse. My stand-up comedy is called the King of Clubs. You can go to Scenes, Scenes.io. And if you want to see my comedy in the metaverse in 4D, I'm in that bitch too. But I'm one of the first nigga comics in the metaverse. Did y'all know that? I'm so goddamn humble, I didn't even give you guys the announcement, did I? I'm a working ass artist, y'all. I don't be having time to brag. I just create and move the fuck on. I create and move. But I'm in the metaverse with my shit. You dig? I got my nigga Slink in there too. Slink is part of my comedy verse. So you can catch me in 4D cracking them jokes. But with the world going to Oculus glasses, your pop artists are gonna be in that. They're gonna be avatars with AI production. Those are gonna be your quote unquote pop artists in the future. It's in the cards. That's why they needed Beyonce and Usher to bring in the devolution of our sound to make way for Rihanna and The Weeknd. The Weeknd, that motherfucker sucks. Taylor Swift and Adele, and you get that classic light ass R&B, which gives way for AI and K-pop and J-pop. With J-pop and K-pop, which is going to give complete way to AI. So the natural living artist better tap into the sound of your soul and stop chasing hip hop. Pick up a fucking instrument. That's the key. Pick up a fucking instrument and create some music. Get the fuck away from that computer, sampling this sound with that sound. And I'm not saying don't sample, use samples on top, but pick up a fucking instrument, learn an instrument or two or three, and create music. Team up with other musicians. You play the bass. We have Skype sessions now. Do you niggas know that you can record music through Zoom now in studio? You could be on the drums in your studio with a nigga on the bass around the world in his studio with another nigga on the horns, and you niggas can come together and create music. Jam together. And out of them jam sessions, create a new fucking sound. How about that? Then once you finish these jam sessions and creating a new sound, get some production, get some layering, hire somebody to put a string arrangement to that sound. Go record, if you got a small budget, 3, 4, 5 strings. Go record a live string arrangement. Pay a fucking arranger to arrange a string arrangement for you on top. Get some background singers, not just you singing 5 times over, dubbing your voice. Hire some fucking background singers. Some altos, sopranos, and tenors. And give them the music. Let them create some good hooks for you. Let them sing it and put their magic on it. Because when you go back to the 60s and you hear that sound, whether you're talking about the Andantes singing behind the Four Tops and Marvin Gaye, or you're talking about Honeycomb, those sisters singing behind a lot of your artists, the Jackson 5, the Commodores, the Honeycomb singing behind Kenny Rogers. When you talk about Miss Alex Brown, the beautiful legend I interviewed this past week, and her singing behind Elvis and Ray Charles, these background singers, they create magic. And it's something my father-in-law used to always tell me when he talked about music. He used to always say, you know, when he write a composition, he used to write his compositions from scratch. When you hear songs like Zoom, he wrote that with those string arrangements and vocal arrangements, pen and paper. Dancing Machine by the Jackson Fives. Doo bop doodle bop, doo bop doodle bop. That was him that wrote that and wrote those vocal arrangements. So in the 70s, you had somebody who wrote vocal arrangements. You had an idea for a song, you put your song together, you had somebody writing vocal arrangements. Maybe that same person can write a horn. Yeah, if that person can write a horn arrangement, someone else write an arrangement for the horns. Somebody else write an arrangement for the strings. Then you record those strings, you record those horns, you layer it on top of the rhythm section, and then you play it back and you add whatever layering it needs, giving the song ear candy for people to hear a song later. How many songs have y'all listened to a song from the 70s 300 times, and your 301st time you heard something new? Press the number 1 if you know what the fuck I'm talking about. See, the thing the 80s brought was these egomaniac producers. Same thing with hip hop, where one nigga just get on the computer and start jacking off and come out with a beat. Them days is over with, nigga. We are in the Aquarian age, yo. The Aquarian age is about working together in community. Okay? The Aquarian age is about working in community with other people. That has to come back. No more one nigga doing everything. If you don't know of background singers, hire some. It's niggas out here that have their own background. It's background singing teams out here. And tell them what you want. And allow that background group to come up with some melodies and harmonies to layer your song with. Hire a string arrangement to give some air and life and breath to your sound. If you can't play the horn yourself, hire a horn arranger to give you some fire to your sound. Get a real earth live drummer. Don't look for a kick in a computer. Get a fucking drummer to bring his drum set down and give you a fucking kick. How about that? Because one thing Mr. Carmichael told me, he said when you write these arrangements, going back to what I was telling you about him, he was saying, when you write these arrangements, you have an idea for what you want, but you allow the drummer to express it. Because no matter how well I write this drum arrangement, I can't deliver it the way a drummer's going to deliver it. No matter well, even though he can write horn arrangements, even though he wrote singing arrangements for everybody from B.B. King to Minnie Riperton to Ray Charles to Michael Jackson to Stevie Wonder, Kenny Rogers, Lionel Richie wrote vocal arrangements for all of them. But no matter how Marvin Gaye, but as many arrangements as he wrote vocally, he couldn't deliver them the way Marvin Gaye could. You write them, but you allow that artist, that musician, to express it through their instrument. You write these string arrangements, but those string arrangers gotta express it. And it's in that soup of expression that you get timeless music. I don't give a fuck what genre we talking about. I don't care if you're using this formula for rock and roll. I don't care if you're using this formula for house music. I don't care if you're using this formula for rap. Where the fuck genre you choose to use it from? And don't be boxed into no one fucking genre. Our greats didn't do no one goddamn genre. Ray Charles did blues, country, R&B, jazz, nigga. Herbie Hancock did hip hop, jazz, funk. Nigga, Heat Wave did funk, disco, R&B. Michael Jackson. Go look at a song like Earth Song by Michael Jackson. Earth Song is a fusion of gospel and rock. Go back and listen to Earth Song by Michael Jackson. It's an R&B song, But when you get to that vamp, what about us? Nigga, that's gospel and heavy metal. Michael Jackson used to fuse heavy metal with gospel. Michael Jackson used to play the blues. You knocked me off of my feet now, babe. That's the blues, nigga. Michael Jackson did funk. Beat It was rock and roll. Billie Jean was funk. Play it all. Go listen to Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life album. Another Star. That's Latin. Doom, 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 doom. As. Straight up R&B. Contusion. Jazz. Sir Duke. A disco jazz blend. I Wish. Funk. Village Ghetto Land. Classical. Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life had like 10 different genres on that one album. We got to get back. The solution to me having this discussion today, y'all, is we got to get back to listening to it all. Playing it all. Stop boxing our music into hip hop. Niggas took the bait. The conversation in the last 25 years when the discussion of black music came has been, well, in hip hop, instead of saying in music, instead of saying black music, in hip hop, as if hip hop was some kind of independent genre that couldn't survive without R&B. Hip hop can't exist without R&B. But niggas be like, in hip hop. Whether you listen to the Joe Budden podcast or the fucking Drink Champs, Vlad, anybody that's talked to music to this day, in hip hop is a bastard genre of music that needs to reunite with its father and mother, R&B, jazz, blues, soul. So yeah, hip hop is gonna die because when they defund it, it dies. And you know why it dies? Because when white folks defund things, niggas stop paying attention. We didn't have to stop paying attention to Leela James and to Jill Scott. I remember when Adele dropped that album the same year as Jill Scott. I saw more black women yelling about Adele and acting like Jill Scott didn't just drop a dope-ass album. When they killed off R&B in the 90s and the 2000s, everything became about hip-hop. Music Soul Child was still releasing music. Anthony Hamilton was still releasing music. But since white folks wasn't paying attention to those genres, niggas stopped paying attention to those genres. Now, K-pop done came around and took our shit. You got black children growing up on BTS. What the fuck is that? You got black children growing up listening to K-pop because something in their DNA genes can't not love the sound because it's nothing but R&B. They don't know why they like it. It's just R&B. But since you're not putting black groups out there to do it, they're getting their black music from Asians. It's like these Asians who own Louisiana chicken. That's all K-pop is. R&B fried up in a wok. K-pop, J-pop is wok fried R&B. And that's no disrespect to them. It's just they flavoring on our shit. They fried chicken in a wok, nigga, we fried in the pan. Still fried chicken. And just like they got their fried chicken from us, they getting their K-pop and J-pop from us. And I'm not mad because they invested in it. They raised it. Another reason I'm not mad, they pay those black artists are getting paid from those samples. All them samples that these Afro beats doing, because they can't do it without our shit. So all those black artists are they getting paid off. Yeah, it's raining right now. All right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, a lot of black artists, a lot of black dancers sent over made a lot of money in Japan and Korea. A lot of black producers, a lot of black music producers. A lot of those '70s black music producers from the '70s went to go teach at universities in Japan all throughout the '80s and '90s. Do y'all know that? They gave niggas blank checks to do it too. Those arrangers from the '70s, when you niggas was all on hip hop and forgot about it, then what's what about the thing that insults me is black people be like, man, they sold out. Well, nigga, how else was they supposed to eat? While you niggas was arguing Tupac or Biggie, we had legendary vocal arrangers and musicians that weren't eating because we weren't buying what they was putting out. So they had to go to Europe and Japan to make a living. Yeah, they taught them niggas our secrets. Yeah, they had to eat. We wasn't so goddamn focused on hip hop. We could have been going to their concerts. We could have been buying their records. And if we was going to their concerts and buying their records, they wouldn't have had to go to Japan to sell our secrets. How about that? How about that? But let a nigga not have a hit in 5 years. You act like they never done nothing good for us. Or let somebody be a one-hit wonder. Somebody that's a one or a two-hit wonder, they become a punchline in the black community. Whatever happened to Orange Juice Jones? That one song was, go back and listen to 90s comedy, 90s Def Jam and Comic View. All they did was clown niggas that had one hit. Man, that nigga whack. Instead of saying, man, that hit was dope, man, wish you could have got more. Or what do we do? Man, they had a cool run, man, but they fell off. Niggas love talking about who fell off. And then when they come back around town on tour, man, I ain't going to that shit. That nigga fell off. And then you look up 10 years later, it ain't nothing but Mexicans and Asians in the crowd. Then here come your dumb ass. Man, they still don't know shit. Nigga, I know. I'm at these old school concerts. I went to go see a concert with Butcher Brown and Ronnie Laws. Butcher Brown they have one white dude in the band, but they're out of Norfolk, Virginia. They're a black band. One white dude in the band, but other than that, the other 5 members of the band are black. And they played, and they had Ronnie Laws, the legendary Ronnie Laws played the sax. Ronnie Laws played with Earth, and Fire, Hugh Masekela, and had a legendary solo career on his own. And that crowd was probably 30% black, 25% black. Basically, if this current black group that's out today making good ass music today over the last 10 years, this current black group that's rapping and singing with a live band, this current black group with a legend, and not even a big room, a room that's crowded, that's a 500, it's one of the standing room only places, 500 people, 400 people, 400 people, probably 400. If they were relying just on black people, he wouldn't have been able to eat that night. Asians and Mexicans in that motherfucker. But if Ronnie Laws goes and teaches a class in Japan or does some stuff, you got some nigga in America talking about he's selling out. I'm at these shows, and not just in LA. I'm at these shows around the country. I see who out there supporting our greats, and it ain't us. Outside of Frankie Beverly and Mays and Charlie Wilson, and the only two that have been able to hold on to a black audience, Frankie Beverly Mays and Charlie Wilson, and the OJs. The rest of them niggas got a tour with 10 to 15 acts. Cameo gotta be Lakeside, Cameo, In Vogue, Chic. Not Chic. Now Rodgers gets good, but now Rodgers gets white people to come to him. It'll be like Lakeside, Cameo, Ohio Players, Confunction, the Daz Band, Midnight Star. 15 goddamn acts on one show for our black legends. Earth and Fire got a whole bunch of white folks coming to see them. Yeah, Atlantic Star. We gotta support ours, man. Yeah, Pop and Pete teaches breakdancing to kids in Japan. Yep. Yep. But my battery dying, y'all, and I'm about to get back in the house. I got a phone call coming up at Apple trying to fix my computer issues. Pray for my desktop, y'all. Pray for my desktop. Yeah, I went to go see Gladys Knight last year. A whole bunch at the Hollywood Bowl. A whole bunch of white folks. Full of white folks. Yep. But I'm about to get here. Go to DwannBrown.com to donate to the documentary GoFundMe. And then if you sign up, this is class number 2 is this coming Sunday for my for my 100 years of Black American music history course. All right. I'm out.